And that was, well, because, but that's why.
My wife's bowling ball was in my trunk. And I was wondering if she was gonna.
That's 5:30, time to call our meeting to order for Monday, October 15th. Roll call, please, Carl.
Councilmember Remley, Ronayne.
Here.
Lunsman.
Here.
Slate Hansen.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Bunceness.
Here.
Olson.
Here.
Rux.
Here.
Mayor Leifson.
Here. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion for last week's minutes?
Moved. Second.
Motion Bunceness, second by Rux. If there are no changes, all in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We have nobody signed up for open forum and just two items, A and B, on the consent calendar.
So moved. Second.
Motion Ronayne, second by Bunceness. All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Under new business, we have from the city attorney, ordinance 181007, revising the city code regarding excavation contractors.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, this amendment came to me from our Public Works Director, seeking some additional protections for the city in the cases of excavations of our city streets and public grounds. Currently, the ordinance as it reads is only a permit process. We do require licensing for other contractors that involve our public grounds for sewer and sidewalk. And so we have proposed in the amendment to Chapter 46 changes that involve a licensing requirement for excavators. And we've also increased the bond amounts to kind of bring them up to current standards and to provide additional protections, both for the excavator's license and for the water and sewer contractor's license. You'll note that a water and sewer contractor and sidewalk contractor are automatically qualified as excavators under the reading of this ordinance as amended.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Ronayne, second by Lunsman. I guess I would have a quick question. Do the people that this affects know that this is coming, and have we heard from them?
No, and we will be sending that
Okay.
out. Obviously, we're coming up on licensing time toward the end of the year here, so there will be a letter drafted. We'll sit down with them if they'd like to make sure that they're aware of what the changes mean for them.
Oh, we'll have a week before second reading, too.
Right.
So we're going to do that before second reading? Are we going to contact them? I mean, no, maybe they'll read the paper. But are we?
I certainly can contact them.
A lot of people watch this on the television.
I certainly
That's right.
can contact them tomorrow, get that process started to visit with them. Yeah.
Please do.
Other questions?
Actually, I've got a serious one. Who, in what form do people typically post bonds? Ron, do you know?
That is a very good question. They typically are able to post an actual
It's a surety bond.
surety bond, yeah.
Not a CD or cash? Or
No, there is an option, like for the excavator bond, they place $500 in cash, I believe, with us, and that qualifies them. And it just rolls, but that's not sufficient to cover anything that they would be contemplating doing for work. So you goof up somebody's driveway or sidewalk, $500 doesn't go very far. So.
And if you are, and maybe these are for you, if you are a licensed contractor, are you also required to be insured under the?
Yes.
Okay, so they're also going to have insurance for negligence.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Other questions on the motion? Now we have a motion and a second for first reading of the ordinance. Carl?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Slate Hansen.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Leifson.
Aye. Motion carries. The next is ordinance 181008 from the city attorney relating to fire prevention and protection.
I have also asked our fire chief to provide a much needed color to this particular amendment. But as I understand it, the issue, of course, involves obstructions to fire lanes by vehicles primarily. And in the process of amending the ordinance to deal with those obstructions, it also became necessary to identify requirements regarding fire lanes for both obstruction and for marking. And also, subsection B is a new addition, but it's taken from existing parking ordinances that we have, dealing with vehicles that are improperly parked on our public streets. We're allowed to remove them and charge the cost of that to the owner of the vehicle. Subsection B does that as well with obstructions in our fire lanes, which is necessary if there was an emergency and there was actually a vehicle in a fire lane. We could go ahead and move it and charge the cost to that particular vehicle owner.
I'll move to approve.
Second. Motion Ronayne, second by Olson. Any questions on this? Anyone?
Under subsection 4, just a quick question. It says it shall be unlawful for any person to fail to mark a designated fire lane by approved signs, roadway surface markings, or other notices, or to maintain such parking. Who will be the enforcement on that?
I would say primarily it'll be our fire marshal on that.
Okay.
Other questions? Anybody? No. We have a motion and a second then for first reading. Carl?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Bunceness,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Slate Hansen,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Leveson.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we have Tom Waddy here from Rideline for the funding agreement with the South Dakota Department of Transportation. Tom?
Good evening. Again, this is just to authorize the city manager to sign a grant agreement with the South Dakota Department of Transportation for a 5339 grant that goes from July 26th of 18 to 9/30 of 2020, which covers part of the cost of our Shaw routing software that we use on a daily basis for the routing and assignments of the drivers for our transit system. They're going to be paying us $18,000 a year under this grant.
Okay.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion Bunsen, second by Johnson. See, you have here that that 18,000 comes up about 6,000 short of our.
Correct.
Of our
and that 24,534 was the amount prior to us adding 2 additional modules to that this year. Unfortunately, the amount that they put in for the grant is based on old numbers, so it is coming up a little bit short. The new amount this year after the 2 new modules that were added was actually $27,029.
Okay. Other questions on this? If not, all those in favor of approving going ahead with that agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thanks.
Thank you.
Item D is airport lease agreement number 75 with SkyWest Airlines.
I could handle that. Yep. Thank you. Mayor and council members, I apologize that the copy that was part of your agenda packet didn't include a draft showing the red lines to the SkyWest lease. But the SkyWest lease is essentially a renewal of the prior lease that was from 2016 to 2018. There have been a few adjustments. All of them have been modest increases in the various service amounts. For example, ramp services at page 2, paragraph 1.04 was increased from $50 to $65. And there were several of those types of changes throughout. The other significant amendment to the lease is at the insurance amounts, which were raised from $2 million to $10 million to be more consistent with industry standards today. SkyWest has signed off on this as well, so administration would recommend approval of this new lease agreement.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Johnson, second by Slate Hansen. Full approval by the airport board, I assume?
That they made a recommendation last week.
Okay. Other questions, anyone? If not, all those in favor of authorizing that lease agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. And item E is payment requests for projects at the airport. Lynn, please.
Okay, thank you. We have 2 payment requests from Helms and Associates. The first one is for the airport master plan, and it's invoice number 2 in the amount of $21,089.65. This project is 11% completed and will be reversed at 90% federal and 5% state under the AIP grant. So therefore, the city's 5% portion is $11,716, and the total contract amount is $234,000.
Move to approve payment 2.
Second.
Motion Johnson, second by Bunceness. Questions or comments on this?
Okay, going into the second payment, it is also to Helms and Associates.
We should do vote on the first one since we.
Okay, excuse me.
Carl, we better do roll call on them one at a time since we did it this way.
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Slate Hansen.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Leifson.
Aye. Motion carries. Lynn.
Okay, the second payment is also to Helms and Associates. It's for invoice number 9. It's for $4,479.14. This project is 52% completed and will be reimbursed at a 90% federal and 5% state, whereas the city's portion would be 5%. So therefore, our 5% total, once this project is completed, is $3,732, and the total contract amount is $74,652.
Moved. Second?
Motion Johnson, second by Bunceness. Questions on this? Carl?
Councilmember Rux.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Slate Hansen.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Leifson.
Aye. Motion carries. Just a quick question. Where are we in the process of replacing Cody?
We start interviews next Tuesday and should be completed by Thursday, and hopefully we'll be able to make an offer shortly after that time period where we can have someone in staff probably in December.
Great. Thanks. Item F, bills presented for payment tonight from departments. $1,995,111. Northern Electric Utilities, $52.47. Mowing abatements, payment to J&K, $95. NVC October charge, $82. Western Area Power for Ordway, $88.47. Oxygen for ambulance, payment to Matheson Trigas, $48.85. ARF Specialist Training to ARF Specialists LLC, $4,900. Bournes Group Postage, $42.44. AT&T Wi-Fi charges at Rideline, $392.
Second.
Motion Slate Hansen and second by Rux. Questions on any bill? Carl?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Slate Hansen.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Leifson.
Aye. Motion carries. Item G is payroll September 30 to October 13 and City Sheriff's Social Security, Old Age and Survivors Insurance, Retirement, Health, and Life.
Move.
Second.
Motion Olson, second by Ronayne. Carl?
Councilmember Rux.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Johnson. Slate Hansen. Lunsman.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Leifson.
Aye. Motion carries. Lynn?
Okay, thank you. I have two items this evening. Ron would like to briefly talk about nuisance ordinance amendment that he'll be bringing forth in the near future, and then I would like to talk about seeking your permission, if you find it appropriate, not to schedule a city council meeting the week of December 24th through the 28th. I presented you a calendar, and as you can see, Monday is Christmas Eve and Tuesday is Christmas Day, and so therefore there's only 3 days remaining within that week, and I would think that we could probably, if in fact we have advance notice, and probably Brett needs to know it more than anyone, we could start pre-scheduling to make certain things don't fall in that time period.
What are you going to do the week after?
We would meet on New Year's Eve.
I guess that's better than Christmas Eve.
We did that last year too.
Seriously?
Yes.
Okay. Did we have eggnog? Maybe that's why I don't remember it.
Made the meeting go a lot faster.
You usually have a lot of stuff, Brett, at the end of the year. Pile it in here.
Excuse me, for New Year's, yeah. For New Year's, we get Tuesday off.
Since Planning Commission's the week before that, I'd have first reading if we had any rezonings or anything that need to come before the City Council. It would be that week of Christmas. And then second reading would be the week of New Year's. So if we know in advance, we can change the publication times and move them back into January if we have to. You know, might put somebody in a bind because people always wait till the last minute to do things, but
We're only talking a week. I know what you're saying, but it's still only a week in the middle of winter.
Well, and they'd have time in advance to know if it's really urgent, they need to get it in the November planning meeting rather than December. Right.
in theory that works.
All right.
Oh, my deal. All right. I had alerted the council last week to a proposed nuisance ordinance amendment that I was planning to put on for this coming Monday, but because Brett is going to be gone for the next 2 Mondays. I wanted to let you know that I will place that on for potential first reading on November 5th.
Do we need to do some kind of motion, or, I mean, obviously we don't have it on our calendar. How do we just let Lynn know, yeah, that's okay with us, or not okay with us, or how do we decide to not?
For the holiday?
For Ron's or for the
December-
holiday?
I'm sorry, for Lynn's request for the holiday meeting. There's need to be some formal action on that?
I'm fine with it. I don't know about Rob, he seems to want to be here.
I might bring a thermos.
You're sitting by the chief. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Well, we'll have the breathalyzer at the door.
We should probably have Lynn compose a public notice for us to approve next week, and then we'll have the language defined.
Do you want to do that? Because if in fact there was an emergency, I could still call a meeting. But generally speaking, I thought if in fact we didn't have much scheduled on the agenda and I let Brett know in advance, we could kind of probably work around not to need to meet. But if I do a public notice and we need to meet, then I've kind of defeated the purpose, haven't I?
No, you can call an emergency meeting at any time.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, in the past, we've never done one, but I'm not aware of us missing too many meetings.
No.
Just an FYI, we do have the afternoon off on Christmas Eve.
Staff does,
City
you're not
Hall's
going to be here
closed.
anyway.
Yeah.
I think we're doing something formal so that the community knows that we formally made the decision.
We'll bring something to the next meeting.
All right. Anybody else? Anything?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion Ronayne, second by Bunceness. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.